So welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success stories set of interviews, where we discuss with local business leaders, their backgrounds and successes and challenges and the things that drive them forward. So today we have with us Amanda Routledge, the General Manager of Yorlab based in York and Durham, I believe, employing 20 people over those two branches. So welcome, Amanda, and thank you for participating. And if you'd like to just firstly introduce yourself, what you do and how you help your clients, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, well, thank you for inviting us. Yorlab is based in York, a village in Dunnington. I'm the general manager for Yorlab, and my name's Amanda Routledge. We've been going for like 40 odd years. So that we started in 1st of December 1976 was when we were incorporated. Wow. I've worked for the company for 12 years now. Started off as sales rep for the company and progressed to head of sales and then to the general management position. For me, I look after the operations side of the company to maximise our profits and making sure all our procedures are followed, because we're ISO 9001 2015 accredited, so there's certain guidelines you have to follow, so that's my job to make sure that happens, and we're recertificated every year for that. So we're a glass blowing company. So we have 4 glass blowers on site who manufacture bespoke glassware for the scientific industries, manufacturing industries. In fact, we were on a snippet of TV for one of our customers who makes jukeboxes, and our tubes go at the back of these jukeboxes. So it's kind of, we're a diverse sector, so anything could happen. So that's kind of that was kind of good for us as a company to let people know what we do. We have like LinkedIn with videos of our glass blowers in action. So they're making in like jacketed vessels and complicated pieces of glassware for those industries, for the industrial and chemical and R&D labs. So, and that's kind of how we started. We then progressed on to working with large manufacturers of chemicals, laboratory equipment and consumables. So we work with some of the leading manufacturers, one of them being Merck Life Sciences, huge multi-billion corporation, and yeah, there's many more. Reel them all off. And we work well with those companies, where we sell their products on their behalf. We have a branch in Durham where our logistics warehousing based, and we've got office staff there and staff here at York, obviously the glass blowers. Some of the glass blowers have been here 40 odd years.
Amazing.
We've been going. That's kind of an incentive. People do stay with us as a company. I think that's really important to look after the staff and employees of Yorlab. So they stay with us because it's not a skill that's easily kind of learned. It can take 5 years to know how to be a glass blower, to become to be able to make a jacketed vessel, for instance. So yeah, it's a company that's growing year on year. We have reps on the road. Obviously with the pandemic and that's been a lot more difficult because customers have suddenly closed their doors, and not allowing like visitors on site and things. So it's been challenging through that sense. But no, we are a business that's growing year on year. So yeah, we can't ask for more than that at the moment with what's going on. No, as I say, I've been here 11-12 years and seen quite a few changes in that time.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful. It's great, and for anyone that's watching this, if you go on, I think your website, you say the videos are just hypnotic. I think is the word I would use. They're just wonderful watching highly skilled glassblowers do their trade. It's just I'm in awe of it already. So
that's it. Everything's kind of handmade. Nothing's like through a machine. It's all handmade and blown individually, so it's unique to every customer if their requirements, and because it is bespoke, it is to the customer requirement. So it's exactly what they need.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense, and obviously great to see that you're successfully growing year on year, and we've had obviously some challenging times over the last few years. What would you say are some of the biggest challenges and issues you've had to overcome?
So with the first lockdown, I suppose that was our biggest challenge, because the sales did decline. The reason being academia, they closed, the academia sector was closed, and a lot of our glassblowing work goes into that kind of sector. So when the universities closed, it meant that our business declined. And normal sales, I don't think people were aware of, a lot of people were working from home then, so that was a challenge on its own, to set up everybody to work from home, often manufacturing.
Yep.
So that was the first challenge, like, okay, let's set everybody up. And then the second one was, as our sales were declining, we then had to take advantage of the furlough scheme. And that coincided with our predicted sales. We knew what was going to be invoiced for that quarter, so we kind of had to act on that straight away and furlough. And then it was quite good when they brought the flexible furlough in, so you didn't have to totally furlough all the staff in one go. You could kind of bring people in as and when you needed them, and we took advantage of that. And I suppose that's kind of what got us through that part of it.
Yes.
And then until everything kind of started to reopen, our sales started to come back. We were heavily involved with some of the customers who were trialing the antigen testing kits, like the lateral flow kits, and also for the vaccines as well. So because of the sector we're in, we found that that did benefit us in a good way eventually. It just took a while to get there. No, we did overcome that part of it. It wasn't for the furlough scheme, then I don't know what would have kind of happened. Then we had Brexit on top of that, of course.
Of course. How did that affect you?
Now, Brexit was kind of a funny one for us, because our main supplier at the time was in Germany.
Right.
So because for our resale side of it, we had problems having transport side of things, customs paperwork. The costs for bringing goods over from Germany just literally went through the roof overnight. There was no preparation for that on any side of the transport. Companies didn't know what they needed, and it was really, really difficult. And that was probably the hardest challenge we had to overcome. We did it. We had to resource products within the UK. So that was another challenge, finding those products within the UK. They're not manufactured. I'm not saying they're manufactured in the UK, but they are easier accessible in the UK rather than bringing from Germany. Our pride is to keep the customers happy, because without customers, no business. So, and that was our challenge to overcome, to make sure the customers didn't suffer. We had feedbacks, because if we couldn't source it from Germany, then we'd find the product somewhere for them. So we kind of went that extra mile. We will get this product for you in time. Right. And that's where we pride ourselves, with that smaller company that will go out of their way to help. That was how we kind of moved the company from those challenging times to now, where everything has reopened. Our business is back to where it was And now we're taking on 2 new trainee glassblowers that start next week. So yeah, because you know we are looking to grow that side of the business, and it kind of like made us think about where we want to go as a company.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of like we sat back and think, right, okay, if this was to happen again, what can we do better next time? And you know, we developing a new website in that time, in that quieter time. We thought, right, let's get this website developed, and so it's about to launch in the next few weeks or so. So watch out for that one.
Great, you do, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, go on.
So no, we've been, you know, we have overcome those challenges, and we're working to a position now where we're taking the next step to grow the business, you know, the e-commerce side of our business. So yeah, and that's what we're working towards and targeting. We have our own target market that we want to, you know, kind of target. So yeah, that's.
So, I mean, through all those challenges, it's great to see you've come through the other side, and clearly employing two more glassblowers must be is a real sign of growth. What would you say are the biggest things you've learned through all of the, you know, overcoming? I find we learn more overcoming challenges than from success, you know, from steady success.
Yeah, I suppose, like, you know, we're a company, you know, you have recovery plans in place and things, and that is one thing that could have seriously gone wrong, you know, and because we'd set everybody up at home, I suppose that's, you know, you kind of look at your own, you know, offices and things, and you say, do we need these offices now, because people work well from home? Yep. So you kind of like reevaluate all of those different strategies and going to work differently. And we've taken on a larger warehouse where we're going to bring goods in to keep in stock, just to help the supply chain a little better. So in that time, you know, it was an achievement to bring on new, with knowing what haulage companies are going through at the moment. We've decided that we're going to work with a haulage company and a lot closer and keep stock in their warehouse. So yeah, so that was kind of one strategy we kind of evaluated, and you know, you look at your staffing levels and, you know, what can we do better, and you know, and can we you know, use different tasks for the employees that we have, and allocate different workloads and kind of share it a bit, so everybody knows a bit of everything about everything. Yes. Yeah. So, you know, you're not kind of, you know, tied into, you know, if somebody leaves and then it's kind of a disaster, you know, everybody's kind of like working together, and I suppose they had to as well when they worked from home. You know, employees had to work in a different kind of way. The communication had to be in a different format, you know, there was Teams calls, and you know, so we're quite thankful that we had that technology. And so
wonderful. Well, I mean, it's just great to hear. As I said to you before we started the call, it's a great hear success story so local to us in York. Just, I guess, to take a sort of personal note, from you specifically, who or what have had the biggest influence on you in your career?
I suppose like this company, Yorlab, really. I mean, I started bizarrely off, you know, from your college days and that in like the hotel sector, so the hospitality, right. Totally changed what I kind of did as a career. And but while there was advertisements for sales rep, I thought, oh right, okay, give that one a go. And that's kind of how I've developed here. So I was a sales rep for 5 or 6 years. Then made it to the head of sales, you know, so all the rest then had a go-to person, and then you kind of like look at things a little bit differently, you know, how, because your main job is profits for the company, and to make sure we have the best strategies in place to make that happen.
Yep.
And and that's kind of how I developed. So going into the head of sales, that developed me. Then I started a degree, like just open university degree, and in life sciences. So yeah. So no, yeah, I kind of most of my development for this sector was through Yorlab, because I've been here 12 years now, so a long time. And so everything that I've kind of grown with, it has been from this company.
Wow.
Yeah. And the MD's the same. Like he's he started off as his father's business, Barry Davis, and Alex took over many moons ago now. And, and he's got like that entrepreneurial ideas, and it's up to us to work together to bring that together and put to the table and make it happen. So, and website has been one of our challenges as well. We've got 1 million products on our portfolio. To integrate all those products with our systems is a big challenge. So we're almost to the end of it now. So
well, good luck, as you say, because the e-commerce side, if you could, I guess that's going to help a lot if you can integrate that with everything you're going. With
all the lockdowns and that, it's kind of the way everybody was going. And that's made us rethink, like, we need to do this. And the staff are all going along with ideas, and they're quite keen on seeing that happen, and they're working with us to make it happen. So
interesting you talk about sales reps. So I'm working with a couple of companies that are changing. We're working on completely changing the sales strategy, because, as you rightly say, visiting a client, especially unannounced, just isn't a thing you can do anymore. How have your sales team adapted?
Mainly through Teams, online calling. LinkedIn has been a big help to us. So all the reps had training on LinkedIn and how to maximize the functionality of that. So and all the training has been online. So from our manufacturers, because 1 million products still in the world, reps aren't going to know everything about every product. So we often run training courses, and those have all been online, and meetings with the reps and their customers have been online. So so it's kind of, yes, it's not quite the same as in face to face, but it was the next best thing. And
I think it's funny. I think well, I hear that a lot. It's not the same, and it isn't the same. Clearly, it's not. We're not in the same room. But when you really think about it, the benefit of how many more meetings you can have, because you're not in your car most of the day, it potentially is quite an advance from a sales perspective. And I think a lot of the things, and I'm similar myself. I typically would visit clients, or they'd visit me. It's more, it's a mindset thing. It feels unnatural or less natural, so we tend to sort of resist it. But when you think about as I say, the efficiencies we can gain, you can even have two Teams meetings for the same time you would spend to drive to a client, have a meeting, and come back, and it's almost like efficiencies are incredibly there. So I'm just interested. I'm trying to pick up. I love picking up quotes and sayings and things as I build my career, and I just wondered if you picked up any particular quotes or sayings that work for you in a business sense on a regular basis.
Well, one of our sayings would be, without customers, be no business, kind of thing. So yeah, and I kind of like, to keep that customer happy, that's our priority. So yeah, I would say that's probably this message you want to give to people. Brilliant. And keep on going. Keep calm and carry on.
Keep calm and absolutely. I think it was Churchill said, if you're going through hell, just keep going, because there's no point staying there. But and really valuable, because I think I've been through a couple of recessions. I don't think we're technically in a recession at the moment, but it's sort of felt like that. But I've been through challenging times, and I think, you know, just getting through is a big win. Because other, you know, some people don't, and so and I think that is worth celebrating, because, you know, often we just go, oh, we made, you know, we've got through, but you know, but that can be a major win. So I think it's really important to do that.
Yeah, definitely keep calm, carry on.
Keep calm, yeah, I think that's a really good one, actually. Keep calm, keep calm and carry on. And on a sort of more personal note, what would you say you've learned about yourself over the last sort of, you say you've been there for 8 years or so?
Become more confident in what I do, how to you know, it's very much like people buy from people. You know, you've got to look after your employees, and I suppose that's been like the HR side of things has been kind of an achievement, really, how to kind of communicate the different things that are happening, that, you know, communicate everything to do with the pandemic, communicate Brexit, and I think that's probably the biggest achievement for me, is being able to communicate. Because without that, you know, everything falls over.
100%, 100%. That makes perfect sense. And looking forwards, as a business, what do you see the main challenges coming on the horizon, if any?
Well, obviously our main challenge is to ensure this website works in a way that customers can use it. The functionality of the website works. And I suppose that is what will grow our business. You know, targeting different kind of market sectors, and so and then we want to move into kind of the export market, and to work alongside that, and all that's to do with, you know, growing the business. And me personally, you know, I want to see that happen, and I'm there to make it happen. So no, and you know, and staff are all on board with that, employees are all on board, so, you know, we couldn't ask for a better team. Brilliant. Of people that work here. You know, they're all for that. They're all for the change.
That's great to hear. It's great to hear, and as I say, it's great to know that businesses like yours exist local to York, and you know, I'd definitely love to pop in and watch some glass blowing happening.
Absolutely. You know, we you know, anybody that wants to pop in and have a look themselves, you know, we're in York, we're not a million miles away, we're quite central, and yeah, and you know, glass blowers love showing off their work. And them in action, and how it all starts and it all finishes, and you know, with us taking on a couple more trainee glass blowers, I think, you know, that's kind of nice to see, and as a business, that's quite an achievement for us during these times, to be able to employ staff, you know, to help us grow that side of the business. You know, there's the glass blowers, I say some of them have been here over 40 years. You know, it's you know, all part of the furniture now. And it's good to see like a new generation, if you like, coming on board.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, absolutely fantastic. So a couple of sort of final questions. It's been fascinating to talk to you. I'm interested what you might say to somebody that was thinking of going to business right now, so thinking of starting business. What would be your advice?
I mean, like, I think a lot of people have come to that conclusion that, you know, the best way is to start up your own business, and I suppose it's choosing your sector really carefully. And I suppose if you're really confident in what you're doing, and you know, there's no reason whatever you go into or do, it wouldn't work, as long as you have the right strategies in place, and you know, and stay focused and not trying everything all at once. You know, baby steps, and that's kind of how this company started. Baby steps to turn over probably almost 4 million a year now. You know, it was nowhere near that when I first started. So yeah, it's kind of an achievement, you know, and with this e-commerce website, and I think that's probably a way to go as well, e-commerce. So it gives you that flexibility. Yeah, you know, there's lots of sectors out there that where people are starting their own businesses. You know, there's tradespeople, there's bakeries are doing quite well. Takeaways are doing quite well, and
absolutely,
you know, there's just so many sectors. And yeah, I would definitely wouldn't let anything put you off as long as you have those basics in place. Then
wonderful.
there's no reason that it can't work. So yeah,
wonderful. And finally, I'm just interested, if you were to give any advice to an 18-year-old you, if you could go back in time, what might that be?
I would probably say, don't give up on your dreams. Follow your dreams. It may not all necessarily take you in the path that you originally kind of wanted, because I always wanted to be a primary school teacher. That didn't happen. But yeah, you know, just try your best in whatever you do and learn as much as you can in that time, and eventually you'll get to where you want to be, if you put the effort in and try hard and keep calm and carry on.
Keep calm, carry on. Well,
Yeah.
Amanda, thank you so much. That's very, very sound advice to anybody, not just your 18-year-old self. And I really thank you for taking part in this interview. It's really been fascinating. As I say, A, what you do is fascinating. I think B, the growth that you've seen over time, you know, and the longevity that the business had clearly demonstrated its success. And you know, just one challenge of, for instance, COVID is enough, but having the Brexit challenge before that, I can only say really congratulations on getting through those things. And I'm sure with some steady ground and a following wind, you're just going to go from strength to strength moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's been nice talking to you as well. And you know, you know that businesses that can be successful in these hard times, and you know, and it's just the way you kind of deal with things at that time, and try and look a bit further ahead, and you know, to see. Yeah, I suppose for us, we probably wouldn't have changed anything that we did over that time. So you know, it's all good, and we're all, you know, we're all still here, kind of thing. So you know, and that's the main thing for us, you know.
Brilliant. Well, again, thank you so much, and I'll be good to. Hopefully, I'll be able to pop in at some point, and I'd love to.
Absolutely.
See what
anybody else, for that instance.
Brilliant. Well, we'll leave that out to anybody that there's interesting that, and yeah, it'd be great to see more about what you do. So, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.